they talk us up, and at the same time they don't talk themselves down, right? Like it's not like the transaction coordinator can help you because I won't have a clue once the transaction gets started. They more, they'll outline, hey, I'm the agent. I know the market. I see a lot of houses, show a lot of homes, write a lot of offers. So I'm going to help you get the best deal on this house and help with all the negotiations. Kristen in the office, she is our expert on all of the scheduling, title work, coordination of all that. So yeah, piggybacking off of that, explaining what they do and what we do and how we're both, that's our expertise. So they know who to reach out to, hopefully down the line.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought you were saying Andy was the agent. I was like, oh, sorry.
It's okay. I started getting confused.
Awesome. All right.
Anybody else have any questions that have popped up so far?
How do you guys keep contractors, not necessarily in line, but like stay organized when you're, calling X amount for all these properties that you're coordinating? How do you stay organized with all the work required and like the contacts and the updates?
Good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, so for us, we have a vendor list of common vendors that we use, whether it's for, exterior trim work or painting or landscaping, whatever it may be. And so we usually work with that short list of people. So the people that we work with, we know pretty well. As far as coordinating the repairs and staying on top of it, we've actually been talking about this more recently, that ideal for us, and this is just for us because we don't have the extra manpower to coordinate as detailed as we'd like. For us, our ideal is to connect those contractors with the homeowner and let them take it from there. We can be the middleman, but oftentimes it just adds an extra layer and the contractor wants to know if they can go Wednesday at 4. Okay, let me reach out to the client when they could have just communicated directly. So we are trying to connect the contractor with the client directly. We'll send an email including both of them and let them take it from there so that it's not so much on our plate to coordinate all the details in between. We'll certainly follow up, after a week or so and confirm if something's been scheduled or see if the work's been done or if it hasn't or if we can follow up in any way. But we try to take ourselves out of all those details in between. But that's just us.
I think that's something we should try because Charlie and Taylor and we live squarely in the middle world of manhandling contractors and clients and trying to figure it all out. So,
yep.
But it is good to work with vendors build a relationship with a vendor because then they understand how the process works. They understand how you work. So you're not trying to explain to some random window company why they're not going to get paid until closing.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, our office works a little bit differently than that. Especially with kind of the dynamic we have. When it comes to repairs, I'm not licensed, so I don't negotiate. But if I'm representing the seller and he or she, Mr. Seller, needs to do these repairs, I will reach out to our contractor. I will get them a bid. I will submit it over to them. And then once they're like, yeah, that sounds great, I'm like, okay, I'll schedule them out. And then that's it. That's all I do. And I'm like, all right, well, if he's going to be here at this time and this date, please meet with him so you can go over X, Y, and Z, submit your payment, so-and-so. So that's something that I do in our office is I will do the scheduling with the contractors, but once it's scheduled, the seller meets with them, the seller pays, and then I just follow up to make sure that he's done the repairs. And then I get, the reports that I need to submit to the lender, title, whatever it is. So yeah, we do that a little bit differently. I am a little bit more hands-on with the scheduling of the contractors. We strive to make it to where our clients don't feel anything, just as much as I'm sure all of you are too. So a lot of it is on my plate. So the contractors, inspectors, all of that I schedule, I coordinate, and then I give the vendors all of their information. Here you go, get the payment. I'm done. So that's a little different than what we do over here. You were asking about providing updates. Were you just more so speaking about like, are you talking about client updates or vendor updates?
Or like more so of an organizational standpoint, because I from just beginning, like when I said I came from the trucking industry, this was my whole job was coordinating trucks repairs. Like that was it. So I'm pretty familiar with contacting and like speaking with like the contractor type, if you will. And it's just a matter of like keeping it all organized. Like I have a spreadsheet I use, and where I just have like lists of all the work getting done on my properties, and then that's it. So I just like once it's completed, I send the invoice over, and that's it. But I didn't know if you guys had any better way that you keep all of those repairs organized, so that you don't like start drowning in them. Because I'm only handling a few properties right now with just repairs, and it already feels like there's a lot. So I just want to know if you guys had any tricks to keep it, keep your head above water there.
We use Trello.
Trello.
So Trello, so basically like we have like a template with on the whole process of the TC from start to finish. And we take that template card, we make a new template card for each client, and we go down the list and check off everything and move that card throughout our process from option period, appraisal, to all the way to closing, and then after post-closing, our context. But I don't know if anyone else uses Trello. I think Keller Williams Command's kind of doing something like that, but it kind of helps us stay on track to like just have that whole checklist and check it off each time so we don't forget anything, and then move the card throughout the process.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can certainly we don't use Trello, but we have a task list in our CRM. And so similarly, we can add additional tasks as needed. So like if there were certain repairs that needed to be done that we needed to follow up on, we would just create a task for 4 days from now. So that's going to pop up in 4 days, remind us to check in on it. We also have tasks, if it's going to close on the 30th, we'll have tasks for like the 5 days prior on the 25th. A task to confirm that the repairs have been done, a task to get receipts for those repairs, a task to send the invoices to whomever needs them. So we'll make those real specific so that we make sure to take care of any pieces that we need to. So I think a spreadsheet's a great start, but yeah, having something maybe a little more automated would help.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And it comes down to it's what's your system. Whether it be Trello, Brevity, Command, finding your system is really what's going to help you get organized. For our team, we are heavily based in Command, and we still dabble with Brevity to where we're bringing Brevity into Command. So that's how we keep everything organized. And I mean transitioning as far as like all the action plans we're putting into the Command CRM so we can start fully integrating. Is someone interested in maybe doing a mastermind on systems one day? Is someone interested in doing that, kind of discussing the different systems, anything like that?
We would.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I'd love to know about how you're integrating Brevity into Command, because that will be our world sometime soon, because we're fully in Brevity right now.
Yeah. I know Chris and I had talked about like what topics are like the big ones, because when Paula came to us, she's like, all right, so let's talk about being a TC. And Chris and I were like, where do we start?
We came up with a large list of possible topics, and Amber threw out Command, and I said, like how TC uses Command, and I said, I think that sounds amazing. I'm hoping I can learn a lot from Amber, because we are not in Command currently. We're like barely in it. So we'll definitely touch on it as well.
We only use Command for compliance and green sheets right now. Everything else is through Brevity. Although to Andrew's point about trying to manage repairs, I still write out all the repairs and who's going to do them. At least in the initial step, to make sure I haven't missed anything, no matter how many files I have. I have a checklist that reminds me too, but something about putting it to paper helps my brain process it. So it's kind of about what works best for you too, to help you remember things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. We're in Brivity as well, and we have a very detailed checklist that is amazing and really helps me. But I always I have a notebook, and I put every time we have a new transaction, I start a new page. I write everything down on there, and I make sure I make notes every single day, everything I do. So I think
Yeah.
both are I have to use both for sure.
That's what I like, kind of like the notebook side is like my EOD. So everything that I'm doing, I'm like, who I spoke to, what was done, what was said, where am I going next? If I called, did I leave a message? Like everything. So that way I've got like 100-sheet Word document, not more. So I'm able to go back on certain days to remind myself. That also triggers me to create a checklist reminder as well. So I totally agree. It's really what makes the sense to you. There's no right or wrong system. It really just, it's what helped you and what works for you. Absolutely. But yes, Amanda, we will definitely have a mastermind based around command. I might actually have to pull my counterpart in here for a little bit of that, because that man loves command. He's amazing. We do everything within it. We do our postcards, flyers, marketing, compliance. We're building more and more smart plans, integrating into Brivity, the works. So I would love to mastermind with anyone else using command and help however I can.
Would you say that the smart plans work similarly to the auto plans in Brivity?
I'm sorry?
Would you say like the smart plans, do they work similar to the auto plans in Brivity?
Yeah, they do. They do work very similar to the ones in Brivity. Yes. Yeah, we use the action plans though in Brivity. Jason, making me nervous.
Since we have about 15 minutes, one of the other things we wanted to touch on today was kind of the transition of appending from the agent to the TC. So maybe we just touch on that real quick, and then we'll brainstorm the last couple of minutes just for future topics. Like we said, we've got a lengthy list already, but we'd love to get your guys' input on what you want to talk about and learn more about. So in talking about kind of passing the baton from the agent to the transaction coordinator, what does that look like? Again, I can just pull up what we use, but obviously everyone may do it a little bit different. I'm sure there's a way to do it in command that's even better. But this is what we have currently. So we use this pending checklist that this is the main thing that the agent has to fill out in order for the pending to go from them to us. So they fill this out, and once it's done, they send us a quick email letting us know that they have a new pending and that the checklist is in our .loop system. So I put this together. I really just asked for the agent to give us kind of the basic information so we can get started. So starting with, which of our agents is it? Who is the client that you were working with, and making sure they have their information in our CRM line desk. For their client, if it's a husband and wife or siblings or something, who's the primary contact so we know who we should be reaching out to first, and how do they like to communicate, call, text, or email, just to try to make that transition as seamless as possible. We also have them mark where the client came from, and are they a first-time buyer or seller, or are they a repeat client? We always like to know that, just so we know really how to approach them. If they're a first-time buyer or seller, we usually do a little bit more hand-holding on the transaction coordination side, so we know that we need to be way more detailed. If it's a repeat client or like an investor that's done this, 30 times before, maybe they don't need so much detail. What's their overall attitude or emotion about the sale or purchase? Are they excited? Is it their first purchase? Are they having to sell this home because their parent passed on? Or, what's kind of the overall feel of the transaction? So again, we know how to approach it. And then the rest, kind of basic info about the transaction. What's the property, price, and then who are the other parties involved? And then down here, there's just some reminders for them of what documents we need for our buyers and sellers. Typically, they do not have all of these completed, and we help them do that. But really the main thing that of course they would need is having the accepted purchase agreement in there. And so then on kind of our system of checks and balances is they would send this to us to start the pending. We then start our checklist or our process, and we complete this bottom blue section here with these dates. So that's just us, going through the contract and everything that we can see and making sure, okay, when did it pend exactly? When's earnest money due? When's the inspection response due? What's the closing date? To make sure all of our ducks are in a row and that everything is in line. There weren't any issues there. And then we take on or move on with our process from there. So this is what that looks like for us. Does anybody have anything similar or maybe very different that you use that works well?
We use something similar.
Awesome.
Do something similar to that. I mean,
Similar.
Kristen, that's amazing. Like, I love that. I actually, I have a new contract checklist that I created, and it's just for them to, it's mostly like based around command, of course, of just making sure that they have everything in there, making sure that everything's executed, because I do the rest of this. But I might try to steal this from you. I love this.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a mini stand-up on, the clients. My agents and I, we have a really great relationship to where when they run in a contract, I just call them. I'm like, all right, how are they like? Are they more chatty or not? Are they a little fussy or not? Kind of give me a feel for their personality. And then I just kind of run with that. And this checklist I love this. So yes, I would love one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to share it. I mean, of course, we could start a transaction with a lot less information, right? But
Yeah.
Most of this I put on here with the goal of having that super seamless transaction. So if they put on here that it's a first-time buyer, maybe they also put that it's somebody that just started med school and they just moved to Indy or are moving to Indy, then that's how I start my conversation with them, is congratulating them on their first purchase, welcoming them to the area. And that way they know that I've communicated with our agent that it's, we're all on the same page, that we're on the same team, and at least know a little bit about them. And they don't always say, oh, well, I told Tom that before, but I don't want him to repeat it if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wish I had something that formal. My agents mainly just forward it to me and put some of that information just in an email, like all the documents are in dot loop, their information's in brevity, they're first time home buyers, they're excited. It's something much more brief than that. I don't know that I could get my agents to sit still long enough to fill out something like that. So.
Well, that's a totally good point. And a couple of thoughts on that. One is I tell them, you take 5 minutes and fill this out and I won't bother you again. And then additionally, if they don't fill this out completely, like we're pretty, I'll say strict on this. If they don't fill it out completely and they send me an email that they have a new pending, I'm going to send it back and I'm going to say, great, congratulations. Let me know when you have a completed pending checklist and I'll be happy to get it started. So we're trying to train them that they need to do this. It's gonna, yes, it takes 5 minutes to fill it out initially, but it'll make life a lot easier down the road. So.
I'm training. We actually just had a team meeting today, and I'm training my agents to send it in just one email of all of the contract and addendums. I'm asking for, confirmation that opportunity offer and contact or in command, the source, and that's it. So I'm like, you could take 5 minutes just to put it in one email, because what was happening is I'm getting like 6 different emails being forwarded and flown in, and I'm like, whoa. We're gaining a lot of momentum with our production, and to be as effective and timely, we need to do this. So they're excited about it. And then I just do a quick little phone call stand up once they get that, send that email over, letting them know I got it, running through everything in less than 5 minutes, and we're good.
Anybody else have anything different, or that maybe you have something similar, but you'd add a piece? All right, well, that's okay. Well then, just to wrap up, I thought maybe I could rattle off some of the topics that Amber and I had brainstormed before, and then you guys can let us know if you like any of those specifically, kind of for us to target next time, or if you have any additional ideas. We are welcoming of all ideas. So some of the ones that we talked about before, just communication in general, yes, transitioning it from agent to TC, but then how do you communicate with your agent, the client, the lender, title company, how often, those sorts of things. Command is certainly a topic to discuss one time. Going through kind of in depth what the process looks like with buyers versus sellers. What do those TC tasks look like? Another topic we thought about would be just identifying red flags. So what red flags do you look for throughout a transaction? How do you deal with those as a TC versus, bringing the agent back into it? We said another topic might be prioritization and organization. So how do you prioritize and organize your day, your week, your month, to do everything that's on our plate? We talked about automation. So that may tie in with command, but how do we or how can we automate more of our tasks to give us more time back into our day? Another one was reviews and referrals. So on the ops side, how can we help bring in revenue for the business by asking for reviews and referrals, and what does that process look like? And we also talked about post-closing. Again, I think everyone does that a little differently, but does the TC role do anything post-closing? And if so, what does that look like? So those were some that we thought of. What's anyone's thoughts on any of those or otherwise?
I know here we're very review and referral centered in our ops team, on our admin team. We set a lofty review goal for the year, and something I know we struggle with is while we're asking for the referrals, they're going to call their agent probably, and they're going to call the lead gen, maybe the person, the ISA they talk to. And so how do we keep track of if people we're asking for, if they come back around or if they give us a referral, how do we not necessarily get credit for it, but how can we track that? Because I ask my people all the time, but they're probably going to call their agent, not me.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And we love reviews here too, so we make it a game.
Quick question for everybody. One little quick question. How often would you guys be interested in doing one of these? You guys want to do one monthly, bi-weekly? What are your thoughts on that?
I would think that possibly bi-weekly would be good, and then we can, the more on track we get and things like that, then we can maybe do it a little bit, spread it out over like once a month.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my thought on some type of agenda. And then also, can we all like share emails or do like a group email or something like that in case any of us want to share any documents and like the pending checklists that we all use, and we can always get like tidbits from here or there.
Absolutely.
Should we all send our emails to you, Amber, or because I noticed you posted your email address?
Yeah, if you want to send them all to me, I put in my cell phone and my email address. Y'all feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need anything. And then when I send out the email to everyone, I'm going to have Kristen on there. So Kristen, you'll get those too. Get those over to you. But my computer's like lagging a little bit, so I'm sorry. So, anyone else have any other topics that they're interested in talking about or going over?
I'd love to learn about DocuSign. I don't know if y'all are all having a transition from Dotloop to DocuSign, but July 1st is when we're cut off. So I think y'all had said something about a meeting with integrating into Command. So that and DocuSign, I would love to be in that.
Yeah, we could definitely probably just have like the Command and DocuSign in one mastermind session. Yeah, because that it kind of works hand in hand with DocuSign and Command, and got you on that.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll end on that. If anybody, like we said, send your contact information to Amber, and then she'll start a group email with all of us. And at the same time, if you think of any topics that you'd like to talk about from the TC perspective, or you know, anything at all, feel free to send those to her, to the group as well, and we'll plan the next one accordingly. But I hope this all was helpful. Once we have everyone's email address and that group email, I'll share my pending checklist and that bulleted list that I had for the TC role. And yeah, don't hesitate to share anything that you may have. I'm hoping that we all can learn a lot from each other and just make our day a little bit easier. So
Go ahead and
thank you for joining us today.
go ahead and text me or email me. Good.
We heard you. Text or email Amber.
I'm sorry, my screen went blank and I thought I lost it. Pardon my party foul. I thought it like closed down on me. I'm like, oh man, what did I do? Guys, it's the most Fridays feeling Wednesday of my life. Yeah.
All right, we'll get the
Appreciate
next one of these
everybody.
scheduled soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, thanks. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. Bye.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hey. How
So
are
how
you?
did
It went well. I was super nervous in the beginning, but Kristen kind of saved me.
I'm
Awesome.
surprised because you were doing so well as people were popping on, talking to them, and
I know in the beginning, I just was like, I felt like I was sounding like a little rambling, but it's okay. Probably just being extra critical.
Can I make a system suggestion?
I'm not.
So you guys were talking about taking and collecting centralized emails from everybody and having this massive email chain. I would suggest doing what Drew Lee does on his spec ops calls. So create a central folder and then share that folder with everyone.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just need to get everyone's emails first.
Right.
I got you. I know where you're going with this. This isn't my first day.
well, I was getting text while this was going on saying how great it was. So you guys did an awesome job.
Wow. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Oh, I loved it. We got some great stuff from like everybody. Like Kristen contributed like amazing. Like I'm gonna steal her transaction checklist and like rethinking how to handle even some of my files. I'm like, this is great. So I really hope they got a lot out of it. Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Well, I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna be at the office for a little bit, so I'll be sending my UD in a little bit.
Okay. So you two are on together tomorrow, so you can
Yes.
figure out how to get on. All right.
Thanks,
See you
Paula.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.